Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this fireside chat on modern data protection needs and benefits of continuous data protection. Today's business users are more reliant on data than ever before. So, any downtime or data loss can devastate an organization. Since data loss can happen at any moment, organizations need to restore business critical data as quickly as possible. Poor data protection can set enterprises back hours, days, or perhaps weeks and severely impact their employees' productivity and the organization's long term viability. In this interesting conversation, we have with us today two top senior enterprise technology leaders who will discuss how organizations can ensure seamless data management for continuous business growth in the digital era. So, without any ado, please join me in welcoming Mr. Gautam Datta, CIO and CDO, Bajaj Allianz Life Insurance, and Mr. Sandeep Bambure, VP and MD, VM Software, India and SARC. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Thank you.
Great. Let me set the ball rolling with Gautam sir. Gautam sir, in this digitally transformed business era, data is the king. In today's online business world, when access to data is interrupted, the ability to conduct business is also. With the average cost of an outage being astronomical, is there a way by which technology leaders can recover data with an RPO of seconds and minutes, where all change data is tracked by time of change? Is that possible?
Not impossible. First of all, thank you for having me here. And it is nice to be back and interacting with you all. So let's come back to your question. It's not impossible. However, it's complicated. And often the costliest part of it is being able to maintain it over the years. There are ways and means of managing your data while doing the business processes. Now, when I say business processes, some of that earlier used to happen within your network, but currently many of it are not within your network, which is the norm today. Too many aspects of your data starts moving out from your network to a partner network, your system to a partner system. So when you say data resilience, it's a topic which now encompasses many entities other than you own. Hence, it becomes complicated. Hence, it becomes multi-layered, multi-tagged, right? Hence, it is not only technology question anymore, to my mind. It is technology at the same time it is process. How do you see how disciplined you are? How do you see those processes over the time, taking care of three phases of data: data at origin, data at transmit, data at rest. Now, when you map it with these three, the differences between my network versus another network goes away. It is always with only these three parameters or these three yardsticks. You can go ahead and probably see through what's been done. Traditionally, there used to be DR system where all your core transactions will get replicated. And in case you have a problem in your production systems, you go to DR. That's the traditional method. To my mind, most of us still stay invested on the traditional mode. So there is no alternative as such that I can suddenly say, I don't need a DR. I still need a performing, well-established, well-maintained DR. Okay, because these are time of unknown, or these are questions of unknown. But at the same time, there are many other broad thought process that has come up. We are not getting into the tech discussions per se, but broad thought process. Something like, can I have a double commit? Which means when you commit in A places or A database or A archive, can we have that same transaction happening somewhere else? If you are so sensitive about the transaction. can you have storage-based replication, which means if a block is written in block and track, sector and track, you would have the same block replicated somewhere else in the same storage, in some other storage device. Now, these are complicated processes, has got many pitfalls, but these are also broad ideas that you can think through. The third idea that I can think through on a broad basis is you have a DR, fair enough. Can you have a near DR, almost like a sub-zero latency DR? Okay. Now, will it be able to take care of your processing load? Certainly no, because then you are setting two systems, two parallel platforms. That may not happen. But will it be extremely helpful in case you have a disaster around data?
Yeah.
Would you be able to fall back on near DR and probably have a grip on the data? Answer is yes. So there are those thoughts at a very base level, that are also emerging. And then there are tech stack, which is numerous levels of tech stack to ensure all of that. I hope I answered you.
Sure, sure. Definitely. Great answer there, Gautam sir. Coming to Sandeep. Sandeep, like Gautam sir just said, it's not impossible, but it's complicated. How do you think CIOs and CTOs can, get RPO of seconds and minutes with respect to their data?
I absolutely agree with Gautam when he said complicated or complex, and it is also very costly to implement, near zero RPO and RTO for organizations that are depending on traditional technologies. And the third piece is also about capability. The capabilities that customers are looking at from a DR solution, generally come at a certain cost, and not all DR solutions are able to meet those requirements. So what we have been investing is into ensuring that the availability and the backup platform is itself able to deliver the expectations of customers and IT on the RPO and RTO objectives. So 20 years back, the challenges on RTO and RPO were the same. Today, even as the world has moved from physical to virtual to cloud and SaaS and containers, the RPO, RTO challenges persist. That is because if the availability infrastructure has been built on traditional technologies of backup and protection, they are not able to go beyond backup and protection to kind of address what Gautam just mentioned on DR capabilities that the customer has. So what we have introduced to our customers, and we've been pioneers in this, leader in this space, is build an availability platform that goes beyond the traditional boundaries of backup. Helps customer in not only recovery but also replication. And then we are going even further beyond that to meet customers' changing expectation from availability. Because a challenge of ransomware was not such a serious threat maybe a decade back, but today, or even in the last 1 year, we've seen more than 700% increase in the ransomware attacks. So these are basically the threats to your business and can impact on the downtime and the reputation of the organization. So all of these changing expectations have to be taken into consideration, while the availability platform is being designed.
Sure. Wonderful. Coming back to Gautam sir. So the importance of data protection increases as the amount of data created and stored continues to grow at an unprecedented rates. There is also little tolerance for downtime that can make it impossible to access important information. What's your data protection strategy? How are you protecting data from compromise, ensuring data privacy and resiliency? What's your strategy there?
Yeah, it's talk of the town. When you talk about running a business digitally, you often lay your hand on various aspects of customer data points. I'm starting with customer data points because I think we all are extremely sensitive about that first. Being an insurance company, you would have data ranging from his demography to his health, records to his financial records. Okay. And subsequently, we would also have data where what kind of protection he is applying for, what kind of wealth he is trying to generate, and stuff like that. And needless to say, being in life insurance, we would also manage their funds. Okay. So this part of the data is extremely important for us to be able to secure within our logical or physical walls. Barring that, then there are multiple other aspects of data, like customer would call a call center, customer would come to our digital assets and leave some breadcrumbs here and there, or customer will give us, some post-issuance verification or pre-issuance verification on video, audio, or customer will chat, interact with us on various, chatbots and applications. So those are also important data stacks that we have. Third, that I may talk about is our own internal data model, which is the product pricing and stuff like that, which is common across all businesses. The fourth one, and probably the most important one, is the regulatory part of it. If the customer has interacted with us and in the process they have given us, let's say, Aadhaar number to validate themselves, now it becomes our obligation, not only our duty, it's now our obligation to ensure that that part of PII is encrypted, even for ourselves. Okay, even for our own internal use, it's encrypted. It should not be available. Now, all these three or four blocks require certain degree of thought process. Of course, it requires tools. It requires platforms for us to be able to, take care of it. So yes, there are significant amount of investment that BALIC as an organization has done over time to ensure that each of these blocks, whether they are in my on-premise or my network, or they are in my cloud network, whether they are in data in transit or data in store or data at source, are encrypted, end to end, as per the rule book that we all need to follow. And also, to an extent, in many cases, as per our own aspirations, to guarantee this data security to our partners and customers. Okay. So that's paramount. That's something we ensure first before move to anything else.
Okay, sure. Great. Sandeep, your thoughts here? How do technology leaders build in data privacy and resiliency?
So certainly. So, Gautam was absolutely right in terms of presenting, the need to comply with the regulatory requirements as part of, the overall availability and this, and of course, the security of data, whether in flight or at rest, is extremely important. And what we're building here is like, the most comprehensive platform for protection of data. And we is the leader, and the most trusted provider of backup solution that delivers on cloud data management. Okay. Now, and the way we go about it is extending or expanding the scope of backup and availability beyond the traditional expectations of just securing the data. Just looking at, let's say, compliance for that matter. If there is information that has to be stored or archived for a long period, based on the regulatory requirements. And at the same time, this information has to be secured and to be made 100% ransomware attack proof. We give customers the ability to move this data either to an S3 compliant object storage where it's completely immutable and can be archived for a long term. Or even if customers want to move or keep this data on-prem. I mean, they give all the flexibility that customers require, to protect this information generate reports that talk about the health of your backup and availability, which can be then presented to the internal auditors or even to IRDA in case of an insurance company or RBI in case of a bank, that yes, we are in control and we have full confidence that this data is backed up and 100% recoverable. Gautam mentioned about one more point, which is the PI, personal information, and one is securing the information. Second is also like sometimes complying with the regulatory requirements like data protection law or GDPR. Like, I mean, if they are not really implemented, organizations are going to see a push towards this. That a simple thing like the right to forget the information. If a customer ceases to be your customer, then all the information needs to be deleted. And then the backup software should provide that capability that in time at the time of recovery, it doesn't recover that data and it just deletes from your database. Like all the personal information like Aadhaar card or PAN details or whatever that you may have about the customer.
Sure.
One point that I would like to kind of highlight over here is, while all these capabilities are being built, for any financial services product, whether it is insurance or banking product, we are in a very highly competitive market. So, customers are today thinking, or IT is today thinking about, what is the money I am spending or investing to deliver a particular product to the market. And Veeam has its eyes pretty much focused on how do we reduce the cost of ownership for our customers. And that is why we are recommending our customers to move away from an appliance-based strategy and have a completely software-defined strategy wherein it can be hardware agnostic. Keep the cost of the underlying hardware low, have the flexibility and agility to drive the RPO, RTO requirements of the business with a software-defined platform, at a cost of ownership which is much lower than a traditional approach to backup with appliances. And we don't believe that customers need to spend on expensive flash drives and to build the availability platform. I mean, that is one key area that we have that's one key tenet that we think is part of our strategy to help our customers to keep the cost in control, keep the TCO low, because like you pointed out, data is the fastest growing element in the data center. Many backup vendors charge customers based on capacity, so it's a very, very risky proposition. Keep our eyes and ears, focused on cost, reduce the complexity, and introduce more capabilities to help our customers.
Sure. No, definitely, Sandeep. I mean, the functionalities, recommendations that you've just suggested, I'm sure they'll go a long way in helping CIOs manage their data better. Gautam sir, I mean, we've talked about the benefits of CDP a lot, but I'm sure there are certain challenges that are associated with as well, right? What do you feel are some challenges that are associated with the continuous data protection, and how can they be mitigated so that CIOs and technology leaders can get the maximum out of it?
Well, there are multiple layer of challenges if we talk about, but let me put up few which are very generic, which are at times very frustrating also. Is setting up the policy around it. That definition is extremely important, and somebody senior has to be engaged. I'm not saying senior means years of experience, years in the organization. I'm saying senior means years of experience who can connect uh, the points in the policy with business, so that it actually adds value to it, not create a business struggling in every space. That's point number one. My point number two on continuous data protection is how do you architect your solution? Now, let's say you have a solution where every hour there are thousands of users who are coming and searching online, searching for your services or product. but they're not transacting. They're just servicing, searching for products, and that is your gold mine. Then that part of the information needs to be treated that way. It gets to be protected. Or let's say, a business like ours, where wherever the person has paid us premium, when he has paid, how he has paid, when, who has paid for him, all of that are important. And after that, it becomes our obligation because we are, he's transferring some bit of risk to us. And we have to maintain that risk for 20 years, right? Or maybe more. Uh, Hence, that part and everything around it after it becomes extremely critical for us.
Right.
We cannot have a reason for to lose even a single of those transactions, right? So that's a gold mine for us, and we got to think how do I protect that bit. Now, what we have is we do have, as I told you, part of all three options that we talked in the beginning. We try to see that the storage block by block is replicated. It's not backup and restored; it's replicated online, and there is a absolutely clean process that if this place has got a problem, I would have a parallel system which will come up and give me the power fire to initiate my or to continue with my business process.
Sure.
And that's how I would deal with it in my business. Again, the moment I change my business story, the processes, the tools, platforms, all would change.
Sure. Great. So Sandeep, like sir just said, policy, architecture, those are some of the pain points that CIOs confront. Also, there are other challenges. For instance, a lot of people say there are significant investments in physical disk storage. There are performance issues. What kind of bottlenecks do hear from CIOs facing when it comes to CDP, and how do you help them in mitigating them?
And so, CDP has a very clear-cut, business case for every organization because, like what Gautam also pointed out, there are different gold mines of data for different businesses. Like in this case, we were referring or we were talking about, customers hitting our website to explore the products and offerings, and this data needs to be protected at any cost, and we are not in a position of losing any data. Right? Similarly, business transactions for are again like is a data that cannot be lost. Any financial organization has zero tolerance for loss of any business data. And so far, organizations have been able to achieve continuous data protection through storage-based replication and technologies, like what Gautam also pointed out. The fact is that these are very expensive ways of attaining or achieving certain goals around RPO. See, if CDP, I mean, you need first of all the same storage system. You need to provide for space on the storage, and then typically the enterprise class storage that offer these capabilities on CDP are quite expensive. We launched CDP as part of Veeam's V11 availability offering, which is the latest version. And now we are able to guarantee our customers like RPO, which is near zero, just a few seconds, and RTO of like instant recovery. We can recover virtual machines in less than few minutes. So we have taken backup to a completely different level. We have been helping customers to protect their workloads in cloud. Whether they are moving instances, migrating workloads to cloud. Make sure that you could recover your applications straight from your cloud backup or from the DR side. That's the kind of capabilities we are providing in the Veeam availability platform. And I think that the democratization of CDP is one thing which is really changing, the way customers can look at RPO. Because we are able to deliver on the CDP capabilities to our customers at probably the fraction of cost that they have been investing. So for a virtual environment on VMware, you could build a completely software-defined availability platform that delivers on the CDP, and that is what customers are looking at. I mean, I have a few insurance customers, as well as banks and healthcare companies that have deployed CDP in their setup. and they are doing fairly well because well, they could achieve those near zero RPOs and RTOs at a fraction of the cost.
Sure, sure. Wonderful, gentlemen. We're fast running out of time. So, final question to both of you. Gautam sir, how are you aligning your data management strategy with the new normal? I mean, what are your future plans with respect to protecting and democratizing data in your enterprise?
Data democratization is a center point post-COVID. Wherever it was not gain momentum, it has gained momentum for everyone post-COVID because now it is no more that people will come to an office or a central hub and then only he will have an access to a data. Now you have to let data be available to people from wherever they are working. Now, as we have been discussing for last 30 minutes, the data is essentially the asset. Okay, whatever business you are in, that is the asset and you got to protect it. Either because you are obligated to protect or because it is the asset. Normally, every asset you would protect, you will not let it destroy. Now, on that part, the way we have gone ahead is not a big change in our thought process. We always have, or at least last 2 to 3 years, we had multiple assets, digital assets, which would allow my customers and my partners to go through their set of data. Now, it's not to go through data; it is to go through their set of data. Okay, which is what we have significantly enhanced in terms of their sharpness, also in terms of their ensuring need-to-know basis security. Also, to a great extent, wherever there is a multi-authentication required, wherever there are, subsequent challenge response is required, is implemented to ensure that we don't go completely other dimension in promoting data democratization. Hence, the protection of an asset is not only the tool but also the process. Like I said, if I understand that this person is trying to access data from his home network and it is not, secure the way, it might lead to another layer of authentication. Should he cross, he will be able to. It might lead to he won't be able to download the data but only view the data. Okay. So all of these are part of the process, and that defines how do I let my tool behave with at that point in time. So these are few very initial and broad examples that I can share with you.
Sure, sure. No, great, sir. Those were simply great. So, Sandeep, final comments from you. Going forward, how is VM going to support CIOs, CTOs in their data management strategies?
Yeah, thanks. So, well, for us, the vision is simple. We want to be, the most trusted provider of backup solutions that deliver on the cloud data, because backup, we believe, is the foundation. And now it is more of a strategy for, not only it. I mean, while backup has been traditionally an operational, effort by the teams, backup administrators and storage administrators and so on. It's becoming a strategy for the CIO today, because you're building really the first line of defense against a ransomware attack or any unplanned threat to your data. And backup has also been consuming a lot of IT budget. So, CIOs need to think about, what should be the cost of ownership and how can they protect the fastest growing element of their data center at the lowest possible cost. So, and while doing that, not really complicating the availability and the backup space with too many products, and that is why I believe that if for organizations that are accelerating on their cloud journey, organizations looking at DX as a key strategy for them to enhance their customer experience and to keep their costs down, enable their workforce to work from anywhere. I think availability and backup is going to be the fundamental strategy that every CIO needs to think on and implement. The more modern ways of protecting data. Uh, Even independent agencies like Gartner project that by 2022 several organizations are going to look at new ways of protecting their information. Either they would augment their backup infrastructure or look at new solutions like this. And our objective has been to help our customers to kind of be focused on keeping the cost in control, driving better top line and better customer experience, and reusing their data, which has been lying idle in repositories for so long. I mean, that's a very old and an archaic way of looking at backup and data management. We are proposing to our customers that even your backup data can today be reused and leveraged for driving more intelligence, into your business. So that's the goal that we are helping customers achieve.
Great, gentlemen. That's all we have time for. To sum up the discussion, continuous data protection, or CDP, is increasingly becoming relevant for large and scaling organizations. Some business technology leaders might even classify it as a must-have when it comes to protecting their company's sensitive data. The more data a business accumulates over the years, the more a CDP backup makes sense. With low storage space and the ability to recover data from minutes, hours, days, and weeks ago, CDP is a great option for anyone looking for airtight security that doesn't eat up disk space. With this, we come to the end of this session. Thanks once again, Gautam and Sandeep, for your insights. Thank you very much.